I'm getting into today's video and I'm talking about long distance relationships. First and foremost, I haven't actually been in one. So yeah, just take my words with a grain of salt. When it comes to long distance relationships, you start to appreciate your partner more because you don't always get to see them. And the most important thing about long distance relationships is about the trust that you built and the communication that you build alongside it. And that is why you always need to communicate with your partner so that you can build trust. Because you realize the distance is already hard enough as it is. And that's why the more distance that you have with someone, the more effort you have to put in for the communication. Because you don't always get to see who they're with. And you realize as well that you're not always with them 24/7. And that's why you start to appreciate them more. And when it comes to long distance relationships, the reason why I think long distance relationships can be better in the long term is because long distance relationships are for people that want a relationship in the long term. They don't want a hit and miss type of situation. And that's really the great thing about it. Because if you want something that's short term, you realize it doesn't last. If one person starts to put in all the effort, you realize that the other person is going to start taking that person for granted, and then it's going to be like a one-sided type of relationship. I wanted to say, when it comes to long distance relationships, you don't want it to be one-sided, because when it's one-sided, people start to mislead people are starting to be led astray, and you realize all the months that you put into someone else. That's why early on you have to start recognizing the red flags so it doesn't build up. Because if red flags start to build up because you started to ignore it, and you're doing things based on what the other person wants, because you're not selfish, you're like selfless, but then you have to make sure as well that your boundaries are not broken as well. I think what I wanted to say before I end this video, because it did slip my mind, the reason why you may not go for people in your area is because you always see them so much. You realize it's harder for you to actually build conversation, it's harder for you to build excitement. The thing is, when it comes to excitement, you want to learn something new. And the thing is, if no one really challenges you, then you realize that you stay where you are, and you don't want a person that doesn't really challenge you. And I'm saying this as well because you want people that challenge you and not someone that makes your life difficult, because that's completely different. Because if you're in a long distance relationship with someone that doesn't communicate, you realize that it's going to be one-sided, because then it's most likely what they want. And because you're the one that communicates, you realize that because you're the one that's communicating, you're overcompensating by putting in more effort than the other person. And the effort should be equal, because the areas that you may lack in, they are good at, but then the areas that they lack in, you need to be good at as well. Oh, where's the sun gone? I was having a glow and everything. I was literally having a glow and now it's gone. You're seeing this weather, aren't you? The weather is something you can't control. And that's why I'm going to say this as well. You need to focus on the things you can control. So you can control how much you talk to someone and how much effort you put in, but you can't control people's reactions and what people do. So that's why you have to build trust with people, and it's about finding the right person, because you don't want to just be with anyone. And when you lower your standards, you also lower your boundaries. And when it comes to really long distance relationships, it's because you do love each other, but then the other thing is that you're not really with each other as well. So that's why you have to realize that what you do and what your partner does, you just need to have separate lives. And that's especially for people that are with their partner every single day. Otherwise, if everyone was with each other and everyone could just travel to see each other freely, you realize that there's no such thing as long distance relationships. You need to start surprising your partners like you did on the first date. And I'm saying this as well because when you surprise your partners, they don't really know what to expect all the time in a relationship. And that's especially for people that get to see their partners every single day. You start to improve your communication, you start to bring the excitement back from the first date. And I'm going to say this as well, that when it comes to really people that get to see their partners every single day, it's about having your separate lives. Because obviously your life is much better when you're together and you're doing things together. But then that's why you need to have your own friends. You need to actually put trust in your partners as well, and to actually communicate. Because most problems can be solved if you communicate and solve the problem head on. And this is for everyone that's in long distance. It's just to make sure that you appreciate your partner. And I know people do this already, where you actually appreciate your partner, you start to think of them, you write things down for them. You start to even want to see them more, because you realize that the relationship is starting to build up over time. But that's why, if you're not ready for like any type of relationship, to not like force it. You know, for example, if you're not ready for like a relationship where you don't love yourself, you can't do things by yourself. And I'm saying this as well, that when it comes to really a long distance relationship or someone that gets to see their partner every single day, it's about making sure that you both want the same things in the future, where you have future goals where you want the same thing. Like you probably want a family, you just probably want to move out. And I'm saying this as well because two people can be having a good relationship at first, but if they don't want the same things, they start to clash and then they start to have more arguments. You need to realize that to be in a relationship is about protecting your partner, and you need to make sure that you do things by yourself at times where you just have separate things to do. And just let me know how this video went, because I haven't been in a long distance relationship. I haven't had a relationship yet. And it's really down to really you as well, like what you want. And you just need to make sure that what you want and what the person that you're going to be with wants, it aligns. So yeah, that's all I've got to say, and I'll see you in another video.